the US, the Republic of Korea, and Economic and Foreign Ministers of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Australia. The leaders shared a vision of an open, inclusive, and equitable Indo-Pacific with the potential for sustainable and inclusive economic growth. They emphasized the urgency of working closely to ensure economic recovery and development on an adaptive, sustainable, and inclusive basis. Prime Minister Pham said, in the process of discussing Indo-Pacific economic framework, it's necessary to aim at a cooperation framework that brings practical benefits to the people. He said Vietnam will work with ASEAN countries and relevant partners to continue discussing and clarifying the content of cooperation pillars, bringing a positive, effective, and feasible economic agenda to the region and each country.
Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam is in Bangkok for attending the 78th session of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. We joined him to see how his trip is processing.
Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam addressed the opening of the session in Bangkok on May 23rd. In his speech, Deputy Prime Minister Đam underlined the special meaning of this year's session, which marks the 75th founding anniversary of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, and upheld the Commission's contributions to socio-economic development of the region. He expressed a concern that countries, particularly developing ones, are struggling with the huge multifaceted impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, natural disasters, and climate change. They are also encountering many difficulties in assessing resources for recovery, green growth, and sustainable development. Against this backdrop, Đam suggested a common agenda for countries to promote sustainable development in the region. During the session, the Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister met Amida Shansia Alijabana, UN Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific.
Import-export turnover of agricultural products between Vietnam and the United States has increased significantly over the recent years. But to exploit the market more effectively, Vietnamese businesses need to overcome a number of challenges.
The U.S. has become the largest export market of Vietnamese agricultural products, with turnover in the first 4 months of this year reaching nearly $4.9 billion. However, the actual value that exporters earn from the market is not significant.
The added value that Vietnam receives from exporting agricultural products to the U.S. is not large because it mainly exports raw materials and through intermediaries, rather than working directly with U.S. customers. We need to cut out the intermediaries.
According to the Vietnam Trade Office in the U.S., though possessing advantages, Vietnam's exports to the U.S. must compete with similar products from South America. This forces businesses to identify and take appropriate action.
Vietnamese businesses need to adopt suitable marketing for their products. They must also know how to do business with the U.S., which involves large volumes and many shipments. In addition to trade promotions, attention from authorities is also needed. In anti-dumping lawsuits in the U.S., like the case against Vietnam's honey products not long ago, Vietnamese authorities handled it quite well.
Standards on safety, hygiene, and labeling required by the U.S. also need to be given due attention by Vietnamese businesses.
A plum harvest festival was held in Mộc Châu district in northern mountainous Sơn La province on May 22nd to promote Mộc Châu plums among domestic and international tourists.
Hosting the Plum Harvest Festival, orchards in Nha Cao Valley in Mộc Châu town were full of local people and tourists coming to taste the plums and experience the harvest.
We are very happy to attend the festival and hope to promote our plums far and wide.
In addition to enjoy plums fresh off the trees, visitors also had the opportunity to watch folk games and sports, helping them gain a deeper understanding of the local ethnic minority.
While the Thai people are friendly and hospitable, I like this festival so much since it introduces a kaleidoscope of ethnic minority cultures.
So it's my first time here at this festival. Blown away, just incredible. I've been in Mokcho many times and will come back many more.
Plums were first planted in Mộc Châu district in the 1980s. It is now the largest plum cultivation area in Vietnam, with more than 3,200 hectares. The Plum Harvest Festival is expected to attract the attention of businesses who will come to invest both in agriculture and tourism.
Vietnam delivered the dearest and warmest farewell to regional friends during the 90-minute closing ceremony of SEA Games 31 held at Hanoi Meeting Indoor Athletics Arena on May 23rd.
Participants in the event included Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Chairman of the 32nd SEA Games Organizing Committee, Sandet Pichit Senatibang, ministers, ambassadors, and the chef's demission. Special performances at the closing ceremony left to leave unforgettable impression on international friends and demonstrate Vietnam as a country deeply imbued with its traditional identity and intensively integrating into the world. At the closing ceremony, the house flags were handed over to Cambodian representatives. After that, artists from Cambodia had a performance of Cambodia welcoming and blessing to introduce the country, people, and culture. With 40 sports, SEA Games 31st took place in Hanoi and 11 nearby localities. Vietnam ranked first in the medal standings with 205 gold medals, followed by Thailand, 92 golds, and Indonesia, 69 golds.
Vietnam have wrapped up the SEA Games 31 run at the top of the medal table with 205 golds, including the much-anticipated one in the men's football claimed on May 22nd night. Thailand came second with 92 golds and Indonesia third with 69.
The host broke the record of 194 goals set by Indonesia at the 1997 SEA Games in Jakarta. The gold medals have not only rocketed Vietnam to the top spot, but also reflected their outstanding progress. Vietnam's athletics and swimming teams holding important medals at SEA Games 31 with 33 goals, 22 of which in athletics. Vietnamese athletes also had impressive performances in other sports like shooting with 7 goals, rhythmic gymnastics 5 goals, weightlifting 3 goals and 6 records, fencing 5 goals, and canoeing and rowing, each with 8 goals, among others. Vietnam's martial arts teams also made breakthroughs with 10 goals in Wushu, 9 others in Judo and Taekwondo each, 7 in Karate and Courage each, 6 in Pencasilat and Bovinam each, 5 in kickboxing and Muay each, and 2 in Jiu-Jitsu. Vietnam's successes in these games have opened up a new hope for the country in other tournaments. However, the country should invest more to improve the capacity of its athletes to compete in bigger events.
Many regional and international sports news sites such as ESPN, Okela Zone TV, Siam Sport, and Korean newspapers simultaneously reported on Vietnam's victory over Thailand at the 31st SEA Games men's football final on May 22nd.
An article was posted on the homepage of ESPN Asia with the title "Vietnam retains Southeast Asian Games gold medal against Thailand to prove they are still forced to be reckoned with." In the article, famous sports commentator Gabriel Tan said it was only their second triumph since breaking their gold medal dog in 2019. and also denied the Thais a record extending 17th ground. That in itself was achievement enough, but the success will mean so much more. The author added, after all, it is a Vietnam outfit that had risen to the pinnacle of Southeast Asian football over the past few years, only to have their credential questions of late. On its homepage, Thailand's leading sports daily CM Sports ran the headline meaning "Raving War Elephants" to talk about the sadness of not being able to win the gold medal at the 31st Southeast Asian Games of Thai players. This victory made elephants feel more painful because both men's and women's football of Thailand finished second at the games, it added. AFP news agency meanwhile reported on the passionate atmosphere in the capital city of Hanoi and other cities after the victory of the Vietnamese players. According to the AFP, the Vietnamese people's celebratory atmosphere over the victory was impressive. Yonhap, the Republic of Korea news agency, also reported on the victory, in which it praised the magic of coach Park Hang-seo, who had the Vietnamese team successfully defend the gold medal at the 31st Southeast Asian Games. Chosun newspaper also had an article about this event.
Football fans nationwide hit the streets in massive numbers, recreating scenes of frenzied pre-pandemic jubilation after Vietnam beat Thailand to claim the SEA Games 31 gold on May 22nd.
Together stronger Southeast Asia. Together we will fight until the end. Tomorrow is so bright.